Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Quick one today. I'm going to do how to sharpen a knife. Keep getting asked about how to sharpen knives. Not difficult, it's really not difficult, but it's so easy to get it wrong. So I'm just going to do a quick one on sharpening a knife. I'm not going to go into too much complicated detail on this. Just to start, we'll have a look at some of the basic knife grinds. So, basic knife grinds. You have got, these aren't to scale, but you've got a knife sharpened like that. You've got a Scandi grind. You've got a sabre grind where the grind goes higher up onto the blade, or you've got a full flat where the edge runs from the spine to the point. You've got a convex grind and you've got a concave grind, but this is the grind we want, and this micro bevel can be applied to any of those grinds. And I would suggest that most people who've got a blunt knife probably started with one of these and has ended up with something approaching that, a misformed edge that is difficult to sharpen. So let's go through it and show you how to put this micro bevel on an edge. Only real equipment you need are some stones, either diamond or oil stones, coarse and smooth. You can also use a water stone if you like using water stones, it doesn't really matter. All we're doing is removing material from the knife. Now this is a blade I've just finished. Incidentally, this is the first blade that has come off my forging press, my new forging press. I was playing last week and it was kind of more really an exercise in using the forging press without smashing everything to pieces, and it came out really well. There's 800 layers, but there is a slight delamination there where one of the billets in the centre didn't quite weld together at the end. I'm going to grind that out and then just form a blade as normal, but I'll do that on the belt grinder. I certainly won't be trying it on an oil stone. So if you happen to have a belt grinder, you can perform all these tasks so easily. So I'm assuming no one has got a belt grinder, or you haven't got access to one, so you're basically down to the stones. Right, as I've said, depending on the actual grind of the knife, you can see that's almost a full flat because it runs from the tip to the spine, but not quite. So in an ideal world, you want these flats to hit a point on the edge of the knife. Okay, what you don't want is this, where that is supposed to look like that, but has ended up over the years through bad sharpening to have that section there turned into that, which is like a bad convex. You really want this. You really want to be able to put this little micro bevel on the edge of any of these. If you've got a badly convex knife that should be, say, a full flat sabre or a Scandi, what you're going to have to do is get a coarse stone, lash some oil on it, and you're going to have to rub them flats like so, with your finger pressure on the front, because you want to kind of get the knife back into the condition it should be on any of your grinds. I'll get some oil actually. We should be using oil on this. The oil will stop your oil stone clogging up with debris, and it'll lubricate and ease it with the cutting actually as well. So what you kind of want to do, you just want a nice even pressure. Put the knife on the flat with the emphasis towards the edge, because you don't want to be pulling it back and grinding the spine away. So your emphasis should be there, and you can just work your way along the knife. You can kind of, this stone isn't very flat by the way, you can probably see. You can kind of go from there, move along a bit, go from there, to the end there. And then to there, and you will feel as you're going from that angle, but you will feel that you have to lift the knife up to get the angle correct on there. You will see where the high spots are on that blade now. This was literally just a rough pass on the grinder. It wasn't the finished article. But you can see if I carry on, what we'll do, we'll end up like that, flattening that blade off until it becomes a sharpish edge. Now a true Scandi grind like that, or a true sabre, will actually go to a point, but if you do that, I think it leaves a weaker edge, because there's kind of not much meat behind the point. You've got no material behind the point, so it leads to a weak edge. That's fine on, say, a full flat if it's a chef knife. That's kind of what you want, really. You want the sharpest edge you can if you're only cutting through soft things like vegetables. But on a working knife, you want something more, which is this micro bevel, because once you form this micro bevel, you can then purely sharpen the micro bevel. And the way we achieve the micro bevel is to hold the knife on the flat like I've just done. Then what you want to do is lift it up slightly, about 5 to 10 millimeters, whatever that is in English. And you want to be around between 25 and 30 degrees for a working knife, and you can quite easily set that angle up. But what you must do is maintain that angle, okay? And what you can do, you'll get a muscle memory after a while doing this, but what you can do, you can kind of use your finger as a height mark there, and you can just gently draw the knife back just to put that memory into your muscles of where the knife edge should be. And what we're actually doing now is forming a micro bevel, and you want to start with a coarse stone, obviously, because it removes material a lot faster. And as I say, when you come to that front, you just lift it slightly to account for the curve in the front of the knife. You can maybe see there now, we're just creating a little micro bevel along that edge of the knife. I'm not quite putting enough pressure on there, you can see it's not as shiny. So start back there, and we'll use that as the depth gauge again, or the height gauge, and we'll just okay, it's better. You can see that now. And there's our micro bevel. I should have showed you before I started this that knife was just blunt as an elbow, but it's starting to get a nice edge on it now. And these micro bevels are, as the name implies, just micro, just a little tiny bevel on the edge of the knife. So when we've done that, we can put one on the other side. Again, just use your finger as a guide until you get that muscle memory. Some people also push on these as well, you know, they bring it, you can bring it kind of towards you like that. It really doesn't matter, it's down to personal preference. So you can use a pull stroke, or you can push it away from you, whatever works for you guys, you know. But you see on there that we've formed that micro bevel on that side, and now we're starting to get a jaggy edge on that, which tells me that the blade, apart from there, is at a point. And there we have it. You can feel a really coarse burr along that edge now. just push the burr back the other way. And it's forming now, and it's pretty even, that. You can actually feel it moving around, and what it is, it's the thin piece of the edge that's just flopping around on the edge of the knife. And we're more or less there. There's just a little bit back here, I'll just sort that out. There we are, we're there. Right, that's the hard work done with the coarse stone. If you're using one of the real fancy stainlesses, you're probably going to want to use a diamond stone, because they remove materials so much faster than an oil stone will. But already that knife's it's sharp. It is sharp. You could do some damage cutting yourself, but it's not quite as sharp as we want it. You can see. And all we have to do now is refine that micro bevel with a finer stone. Put some oil on there, and again, really just the same process. Just bring the knife back. Try and maintain that angle exactly the same on both sides, okay? Because you want that edge right in the center of the blade. You can also buy the kind of Lansky type sharpeners. There's several of them available. You see now, there, you see that little bit of metal? That is actually the burr, the thin edge just breaking away. And that's what we want to do on that whole edge. We just want to break, there's another one, we just want to break that burr off the edge. And it's so easy to do this, and it's just about that little bit of muscle memory. Just keeping that spine of the knife at the same height on each side. And that is goddamn sharp now. Some people frown, you know, shy away from oil stones, but they're what we've used for hundreds of years to sharpen tools and knives, and they still, you know, they just do a great job. Everyone thinks, oh, you got to have a diamond stone, got to have a diamond stone. Well, these were around for a lot longer than a diamond stone, and they just do just as good a job. That edge is just so scary sharp now. So it cuts much easier. There's a couple of little burrs holding on the edge, and that's why it's just tearing there. There's one just there at the front, and then all that. So that edge is now sharp, and you don't need to do any more grinding on that. You need a cloth, because that is done. So I just want to wipe down the edge of that blade, the sides of that blade. And guys, just make yourself a leather strop, just a piece of wood with a piece of leather nailed onto it. You can also use just a piece of MDF board, because MDF actually works quite well as a strop. And all you need to do is put some buffing compound on it, or you can use metal, any kind of metal polish will do. You know, chrome cleaner, anything. They're all a mild abrasive, so you just smear your strop, whatever type of strop you use. Make sure it's clean. That's the most important thing. Make sure there are no little bits of metal on it, or no little bare edges that are impressed into the steel, because you'll just scratch your edge. So all we do is come back again at exactly the same angle. I'm going to have to do this with one hand because the strop's going to move. Just come back again. You don't need to do this many times. Just count the amount of times you do it and repeat on the other side. That's 4. And we'll go back on this side with the same. And all you're doing here is you're just polishing that micro bevel and you're pulling off any of the burrs that are left. I'm going to give that one more go on each side and just try that. Oh man, that is sweet. And there we go. A edge like a goddamn razor blade. And when that knife dulls, take it back to your fine stone. That stone is like, let's say it's probably equivalent to about 1,000 grit or something like that. Just a fine stone. When that edge dulls or gets blunt, just take it back to your fine stone, providing your edge isn't chipped. If your edge is chipped, you can work on the coarse stone and keep going till you've removed your chip, and then go back to your fine stone, put the edge back on it, and you probably will only need, if you've got a good steel on your blade, if it's a good steel blade, if it was from a maker, and it's probably going to be a better steel than a manufactured blade, or a better edge anyway. It's going to be heat treated properly and you're going to get the best out of it. But bring it back like that. Let's just try that. It's sharp, but again it's jaggy because we've got that, you see, we've got that little micro bevel which we need to break off. We'll just do that again. There we go guys, it's that easy. You can shave. So that's it fellas, sharpening the knife. I'll bring you up on a close-up of that billet. Oh, that knife steel. The other side's messed up because I've had the flat on the grindstone, but yeah, I quite like that pattern. It was nothing, I never tried to achieve any real kind particular pattern. It's literally just 900 layers of steel, that. You see the little D-lam there. But I'm going to grind him out. Just bring a new front onto this. Regrind the blade and then it will have the same treatment that it's just had there and have that beautiful edge put back on it. Okay guys, that's it. Very soon after this video I'm going to show you an exciting new thing I have just purchased. And I'm going to make a series out of it. Alright guys, thanks to my patrons, thanks to all you subscribers, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.
Stop!